So I had this thought. In childhood, we learn very quickly that there's no space for our emotions. Even when we grow up with the best of intentioned parents, as we have to fall under the umbrella of discipline, we get the message very early in life that how we feel is only acceptable in certain guidelines. So then that leads to like numbing behavior and a lot of dismissing and discounting how we feel. But if we look at emotions as just information for us to process and to feel our ways through, we arrive at the conclusion of why they are there. So if we take the emotions of like jealousy and envy, like we look at someone else and we don't even apply the rules fairly. We look at someone's win and their highlights and we apply them to our weaknesses. But if we ever got in touch with it, what it actually means is it's a refusal to be brave and courageous with our own lives. That when we are looking at the highlights of someone else's life, there is a part of us that instead of leaning into what we feel, it is easier to shrink under the weight of fear and scarcity and somehow believe that what we're witnessing is only available to that person. But that story is never true. I don't know. I like human behavior. And so whenever I am looking at anyone that I admire, I am coming close because I want to know how you're doing what you're doing. So when I see someone's character and I admire that characteristic, I am there, I'm digesting your information, but what I'm really doing is listening for your background information. I want to know how you're doing what you're doing. And then I take that information and I filter it through who I am as a person and how can I use that in a way that is beneficial to me. Not a carbon copy of who the person is, but how can I use what they're doing to my benefit. So there is a place in God where there is revelation that's coming about you. And so I have to be able to look at myself in non judgment. There is absolutely nothing wrong with how I feel and how I show up in life. That I have to approach that. I have to approach that from that train of thought because that is how I can make any change that I want to make. And so envy and jealousy, that it only means that I need to be brave because that characteristic that I'm observing in someone else, that it's inside of me too.